In relationship, then you understand what you're lacking with God. It's relationship. You need quality time with God. See, but it's the getting into it that's hard. Because most people say, well, I want that, but how? How do I don't know how to pray. I don't know. That's why we have church. That's what church is for. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Teaching you how to pray. Answering your hard questions. That's why we have Bible study and Sunday school, these things, so we can answer questions. It was a time I was so hungry for God. I didn't want to hear the singing. I didn't care about devotional. I didn't want to hear no praise and worship. I just wanted to hear the word of God and Bible study. That's all I wanted. Because there were so many questions in my mind. So many things I wasn't sure about. So many more things I wanted to know. So everything else to me was just irrelevant. It's just like, some people just like plain pound cake. They don't want no frosting. They don't want no sprinkles. They don't want no swirl in it. They just want plain pound cake. And I was like that. It was a stage in my life. That's all I wanted. I just wanted the cake. You know, sometimes your children get to a point in their life, they don't want nothing but meat. They don't want the rice. They don't want the vegetables. They don't want the bread. They just want the meat. Mama, I just want a piece of chicken. That's all I want, a piece of chicken. They just want the meat. There's a period in our spiritual life where we get like that, where all we want is the meat. I just want to know, and especially as a man, I didn't want the emotion of God. I didn't want the crying and the falling out and, oh my God. I just wanted to know, how does this work for me? I got bills. Pastor, I got bills. What am I supposed to do? Tell me what I am supposed to do. I got bills. Okay, you saying I need to pray? Then tell me, what am I supposed to say? How do I pray? Give me a script. See, I wanted the meat. And we got to be able to give the meat to those who need the meat. Now, some people that are at that level where they need the emotional part to get into it. And I understand that. And I have no problem with that. But there has to be a time in church where we're giving out the meat. Yep. It can't be all entertaining, emotional and entertaining. Most churches just emotional and entertaining. Yes. There's not much meat going on, not much lessons going on, not much giving out like it should be. So the people get home and they're happy for what just happened, but that happiness lingers and drifts and fades away. And then what's left, and I'm right back where I started. I feel the same now than I did Sunday morning before I went to church. And now it's Monday afternoon, and I still got these same problems, and God ain't said nothing to me. So I need to help you establish a connection with God, so God can have, it's just like if I got phone service, I can let you use my phone, or I can help you get your phone turned on. That's the parable of understanding, of teaching a man to fish, or giving him a fish. Sure, you can use my phone. As long as you're near me, you can make phone calls. But the minute I leave you, you're without communication. So in other words, I can teach you or entertain you with this word, and every time you come in here, you feel God. You can communicate. You can feel like He's speaking to you while you're in here with us. While you're in this room, my children might feel connected when we're having church. But my children need a relationship so that when they're at school, on the school ground, they can communicate with God to themselves. With themselves, by themselves, through their own connection. We need our own relationship with God. We got to have our own relationship. You can't rely on my relationship. My children can't rely on my relationship. You have to have a relationship with God. You have to be able to sit in your room and feel God's presence in your bedroom. You got to be able to, in your truck while you're driving along, feel God's presence by yourself. I tell people all the time, I can have church all by myself. Many times I'm riding up and down the road or I'm at work, and I can just put my mind on God, and He'll talk to me. And we have good conversations, even while people are talking to me. I'm just that type of person. I can hear you and not hear you, and have a whole other thing going on. So we have to have that ability, but that ability developed over time because I put time in with God by myself. I put time in. There was a time, I used to tell people all the time, when I used to carry a briefcase. In the briefcase was only two things: a Bible and a dictionary. I don't know what people thought was in there. Probably all kind of things ran through their mind. But all I had was a Bible and a dictionary. I still got that same dictionary to the house to this day. A Bible and a real good dictionary. Why? Somebody said, back then it was Deacon Moon. Deacon Moon, you think you know everything. I said, I don't know everything. That's why I carry the dictionary. So when I run across something I don't know, I look in the dictionary. Now, you know, this before technology, you know. If I had me the phone like I got now, I probably would have never carried a dictionary because I could have just Googled a word and find out what it means. So a lot of times I would carry the dictionary, and when I'm reading and a word come across that I don't know, I say, oh, that's a good word. If I had time, I'd look it up right then. If not, I'd mark it or write it down and look it up later. Why? Because I wanted to know. I wanted to know. I wanted to know what that word means, because to understand the word is to understand the sentence. To understand the sentence is to understand the paragraph. To understand the paragraph is to understand the story. And you'll never get the moral of the story until you understand the story. You telling me what the moral is nice, but if I know the story for myself, I understand it for myself, and I can think. And once I get it, if the story changes but the moral doesn't, I'm not lost. See, that's what happens with math and word problems. The story changes, but the math doesn't. The math is still the same. And if you learn real good, you understand that in word problems, there's key words that tell you what kind of problem it is. Key words that tell you if you're going to have to add or subtract. Key words in the word problem tells you if you're going to have to divide or multiply. There's key words. But you have to understand the story. You have to understand it's not about Johnny, Bob, and Mary, but it's about how many apples they're giving or getting. It's about the math. Same thing with these stories. It's not about Jonah and the whale, and it's not about Daniel and the lions. It's about adding and subtracting your faith. It's about testing your patience. It's about building up your character. See, a lot of things that we go through in life, it's not about tearing you down, but it's about building you up. A lot of things we go through in life, we go through things in those particular areas because it's in those particular areas that God is working on you. There was a time I was very impatient. My wife is right there, she'll tell you, I was so impatient. Yes. But God had to keep working on my patience. I was one that would snap, say something smart out the mouth, give you a smart remark and nasty talking, because I was very impatient. Hold it down, son. I was very impatient. But I knew that. First, I had to be honest with me and say, I know I'm impatient. I had to face up and own up to that. I couldn't keep saying, I ain't impatient, but why can't you keep bugging me with questions? No, son, you're impatient. You're impatient. So first, what I have to do is get some patience. I had to be honest with myself and now get some patience. So first I had to say, okay, I'm honest now. Now I'm at the honest stage. I know I'm impatient. Now what I'm supposed to do? This next time we'll talk about, I know I'm impatient. So what I'm supposed to do? Do I go to the store and go on aisle 5 in Walmart? Do they got some patience in a box? Do I need to get some patience like that? Is there something on the shopping channel? I can get some cream to rub on me to have some patience? What do I need to do? How do I get this patience? Everybody says, you ain't patient. Okay, I know that. Stop telling me. Everybody telling me that. What do I need to do? See, this is what we do to sinner. You ain't sinner. I know that. How do I come out? You shouldn't be smoking and drinking. I know that. But they keep calling me. Now what I'm supposed to do? You telling me all the things I already know. Tell me something to help me. Tell me how. If I'm hungry, you telling me I look hungry. Baby, I knew I was hungry when I woke up this morning. I didn't eat before I went to bed. I don't need you to tell me that. I need you to tell me, how do I get out of this situation? So if I'm impatient, how do I get patience? I had to develop a relationship with God. I started getting in prayer lines. People get in prayer lines. Usually, most people ain't gonna get in a prayer line until like something financial happens, or somebody's sick, or in jail, something what they consider drastic in their family, health problems, stuff like that. Then they'll get into a prayer line. But there was a time in my life I came to enough sense in my mind to know that I wasn't going to make it like this, being impatient as I was. It was really messing with my marriage. It was messing with my relationship with people. It was messing me up at work. So I knew I had to get patience. So I started getting in prayer lines for patience. I didn't just get in one prayer line like some people do. Get in one prayer line and say, well, God, you better do it. Because I knew it hadn't been done yet. So every time I was in a church service, whether it was the church I was attending at the time or visiting somebody else's church, when somebody said, You need prayer. Whoever needs prayer, come to the front. I went up front. You know, they say, brother, what you need? And they let you whisper in the air. I said, I need some more patience. Sometimes they were looking at me, okay. You know, because they wasn't feeling it with me. That's probably why I hadn't gotten it yet, because they wasn't really feeling what I was saying, so they wasn't praying with me like, you know, how we supposed to really touch and agree with a person to help them get delivered. I believe every time I didn't get that kind of response. So, but I kept going because I wanted it. I needed it. I know I needed it, so I kept going. Every time they called a prayer line, I'd get in line for patience. I need more patience. I need more patience. I need more patience. Till one day, I don't know when it happened. I can't tell you who was the person that prayed that actual day, or if it was a process, or it was a slow happening. I don't know. All I know is I woke up one day, and some of the things that would make me mad and make me flip like that, when they happened, I didn't flip like that. I felt irritated, you know, but I didn't flip. And I didn't, even at that time, I didn't know I had more patience yet. But over a period of time, before I knew it, I just wasn't irritated by everything that used to irritate me. And one day I noticed it. I said, you know what, something happened. And I thought about it. I said, you know what, if this was back in the day, I would have flipped and told somebody something. I would have said something that I probably would have regretted later.
In my camera.
But I thank God I didn't flip. And I realized that God, somewhere along the line, sent me patience. It wasn't until later on, way after I got the patience and more patience, that later on that I realized that it wasn't so much of God just sending me, boom, here goes some patience. It was Him allowing me to continue to get into situations that test my patience. And I started passing the test. See, when God wants to give you patience, He's not going to send you a care package like on Modern Warfare 2. He's not going to drop a crate for you to run over and upload the patience right quick. It's not going to happen like that. He's going to continue and continue and continue to put you in situations that's going to test your patience. If your brothers and sisters are the one that's going to come and test your patience, they're going to keep doing what they normally do to test your patience. They're going to keep messing up and making you mad until you're not mad at them little things. And then when you stop getting mad at them little things, that's when they're going to stop doing them little things. Because they done what God needed them to do. They done worked on you and developed your patience through trial and error. Through trial and error. Because I can say right here, oh, I got patience. Then I go home and something happens and I flip out, lose my mind. And then the God will come to me quietly and say, you need to work on that, son. You need to work on that. You could say, well, I got a problem with my mouth. And you say, well, I don't do that no more. I don't snap on people. And the right person says something to you, boom, here comes something out your mouth. And then God will come and say, sis, you need to work on that now. You need to work on that mouth now. You got to handle that. Because God will let us know right where we're weak at. Right where we're lacking. He's going to let us know. There's areas in our life that He wants to fix. There's areas in our mind that He wants to fix. He wants us to think right first about ourselves. If you think right about yourself, you'll think right about your brothers and sisters. Right. See, this is a learning process, and this is what has irritated me about the house of God, because the house of God is not teaching these things. The house of God is not preparing people to live this life. The house of God is not lifting people up in a way that they can walk around in their own home with a sense of pride and dignity about who they are. They're not building up their spiritual self-esteem. And when the word problems of life come, when the situations come, they can't get through it because they don't know how. They can't overcome because they don't know how. They can't praise their way through because they don't know how. And if you don't know how, if you don't feel confident, it's just like when we're young and we go out to we have the little dance, school dance and stuff. If we're not confident, man, we see the confident people like they're getting it on the floor. They ain't care, they throwing anybody every which way, they just getting it. And we on the wall saying, oh, I wish I could. Now when we in our room by ourselves, we getting it.
That'd be me.
But we get in the club, party situation around people. You want to because we ain't got that confidence in that area yet. But when you get confidence in the area, when you get confidence, see, when I didn't have the confidence, I used to come to church, I used to be just like that. Hallelujah. Glory. And when I got that confidence, it took me about 3 years. Our
Two-stepping.
first 3 years. After that, oh, you better get out my way. Oh, Brother Moon coming out. Hold on. Back your foot up. Because I'm coming out shouting. I don't care what you can sit there and look at me, stare at me.